Welcome to Marketing with Vino, the edutainment business growth podcast, mixing education and entertainment to make growing your service business much more fun. Your hosts, Quinton Venter, online marketing expert, and Gabby Kowalski, creator of the Business Freedom Formula, have a glass of wine and share powerful and up-to-date strategies to help grow your service business fast.
Hey, awesome audience, we are back. Marketing
Hello, everyone.
Vino. You listening to Quinton and Gabs. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone, and welcome, Gabby. Thank you for hosting this co-host podcast again.
right back at you, buddy.
For everyone that's just tuning in for the very first time, we are doing something very controversial. We are putting business and marketing and combining it with wine. So this is the Marketing with Vino show. Gabby, can you tell us a little bit why it's important to mix that together?
Oh, look, ultimately, it's just to understand that marketing is fun if you find a way to make it fun. So when we have a glass of wine and start talking about marketing possibilities, it makes it so much more fun. We encourage you to go and open up your favourite bottle right now or other choice of alcohol and join us for this chat.
Yeah, totally. What are you sipping on today?
I'm actually sipping on a Cab Sauv, a nice, beautiful red wine.
Nice, yeah, beautiful. That's one of my favourites.
Yes, and yourself? What are you sporting?
I've got a light one. I've got a Pinot Gris from Taylor's, and it's a fresh bottle, and I'll probably get about 2 glasses out of this show.
Brilliant. Love it.
Hey, I've had an interesting conversation with a client, and he shared some cool insights with me about our show. That apparently Tim Ferriss, when he started his very first show, did a very similar concept, except he got completely wasted the first show. And so I think we're onto something here, seeing his track record with Authority.
You got hammered. That's so funny. All right, well, we're keeping it to 2 drink maximum. I think that's definitely a good goal to have.
Yeah, totally.
Well, it's funny, because ultimately I love how this started. Right now, Quinton and I have been learning how to, as we film this or as we record this, we're actually learning how to actually launch this podcast. We had no idea. It was literally we're sitting around and we're having an epic conversation over wine, talking about marketing, thinking someone should be recording this, and hence this was born. And now we're literally working out the ins and outs. And it got us thinking, one of the best messages we could give you for marketing is say yes to doing more marketing and work out how later. So many people, so many of my clients get stopped in doing certain things because they don't know all the detail. They don't know how to, edit the video blog and, put it up on their website or whatever marketing technique that they're looking at. They don't know how to create a lead magnet and integrate it with their website and integrate it with a CRM, an email system. So they don't do anything. So our little sort of mantra today is say yes and work out how, but only in the area of marketing. If you're sitting here listening to this and you've ever heard the message, say yes, work out how, or take massive action around business, and you found yourself taking massive action and getting completely overcommitted, overwhelmed, and thinking, well, this is shit, this is not what we're saying. We're not telling you to say yes and work out how on every area of life and business, just in the area of marketing. Wouldn't you agree, Quinton?
Yeah, that is so true. And to put it into context, that if you were to go out there and just say yes and work out how with sales, I think you're going to struggle if you don't have a full system in place to get at least consistency with your closing in sales. So that's why it's so important to do it with marketing, because when you say yes and you work out how, your authentic self comes out, and that's when you make mistakes. And your marketing shouldn't be 100% perfect. That is, it almost puts it too far outreach for your client if they were seeing something that is so perfect. But if you not purposely put spelling mistakes in there or make a bit of a joke or swear or just be you, they actually start resonating with that a lot more. So it's so applicable to, in your marketing, just say yes and work out how. That even with this podcast, that we had absolutely no idea how to do it besides just to record the conversation. And through that experience, we've learned a few things along the way. And so, yeah, totally agree with you. So important. Say yes and work out how.
And that's the thing, so for how to work out the how, what I'm saying here is, instead of going, okay, I will do a podcast, or I will create a blog, or I'll do a video blog, next year or next month, I'll do it when I know more, when I've got more time. Instead of putting it, off, understand one thing. If you're not making the revenue that you want to be making in business, if you're not making the difference that you want to be making in difference, the difference that you want to be making in business, then the key to that is marketing. Honestly, the answer is up your marketing every single time. It's, you could sit there and say, oh, the industry's facing some issues, or, it's December and nobody buys, or you could feed me a bunch of excuses, and I'll still answer the same way. Increase your marketing. So when you say yes to doing more marketing, it means that you start the action, you start the process, which means that you're going to get whatever avenue that you're embarking on, you're going to get it to work, which means that if you were to go, okay, I'm going to create myself a video blog or a podcast, then as soon as you start doing it, you're going to have to work out the rest as you go. And my advice to you there is find somebody else that has great results with the marketing technique that you're using, and ask them to tell you the how. So what Quinton and I did was we did exactly that. I've got a friend in the States who's a phenomenal guy. AJ, if you're listening to this, as a shout out to you and a thank you for the chat that we had with you the other day. So AJ launched a podcast. It hit #1 in its first month. It's been very successful. He's doing really well. So Quinton and I organised a Skype chat with him and asked him, hey, can you give us some tips and pointers? Can you tell us some of the stuff that, you didn't know, that you didn't even think about, that you've learned along the way, some of the stuff that, you implemented and worked. And it was awesome because he gave us his whole strategy and he saved us. God, Quinton, honestly, how much time and effort do you think that conversation saved us?
Can't even put a number onto it.
No, it's just...
The thing is, how much he saved us is also helped us so much with our authority position when we do launch this podcast. And I think that has been the most valuable part, where our initial thinking was we create one episode and then we'll release it, and we'll do that on a consistent basis monthly. But after we've been speaking to AJ, he actually gave us so much more and made it clear that you're competing against other people at that time who's also launching their podcast. And taking a look at iTunes algorithms, they will actually measure how long your podcast has been active, and then how much engagement it has been getting. So his advice was to create 3 to 5 shows and launch that together, so that you can at least get people who have listened to the first show to get engagement into the other shows, so that you can drip feed that to your current list. That has significantly boosted his rating and put him up to the top rankings. So that has been absolutely phenomenal value right there.
This is the thing, we wouldn't have known to do that. And to be honest with you, I did actually do a little bit of research on podcasts on good old Google, and read and consumed a fair few things I could find. And none of them mentioned that technique. They didn't say, hey, do several so you can actually get your people kind of hooked and engaged that way. Furthermore,
it was one of the tricks.
Yeah, he also suggested to leverage your current network before you launch, and invite through Facebook. You can private message your clients, your friends, anyone that you can think of that would be interested, and send them a beautiful message telling them what you've done, and ask them to help you out by subscribing to the podcast and by leaving a review and a comment and whatnot, just to get the momentum going. So that was great.
Yeah.
Thirdly, though, what I really loved was AJ actually created a really cool landing page with a giveaway. And what it was we're launching our podcast, or a video of him saying, hey, I'm launching my podcast, a bit of stuff about the podcast. Love you to come check it out. Please go check it out, subscribe, leave a review, and as a thank you, I'm going to give you this X course. It was a beautiful lead generation course worth $500 online. So he was giving a gift away to anyone that was going to help him out, and he just sent that out to his list, and obviously on Facebook. So it's brilliant because it's like, okay, nice and simple. 3 things to look at. 1, make a few episodes to launch so people can actually get a full experience when they review. 2, ask for help from your clients and your networks to, jump on and support you. And 3, send some form of giveaway out to your list, and it may be your following or your email list, and ask people that may not be your clients to jump on, check you out, and offer them a gift, an incentive to do so. Yeah. Would you add anything else to that, or would you say that were the 3 biggest learnings that we got?
I think that is perfectly. You've said it perfectly, and even to add to that, it is so genius what he's done with that lead magnet. For everyone that doesn't know what a lead magnet is, it's a bait piece that you give someone for very high reward, low risk. So generally, it is something that they desire, and all they have to do is just give you the email or the name and email address. So what AJ has done, and this is why it's so genius, because it falls in the concept of education-based marketing again. Edutainment marketing, actually.
Edutainment, that's right. We coined it. And if you missed the first episode, we coined education marketing, edutainment, because we believe without the entertainment, it's kind of boring.
Yeah, totally. And I just want to tie it in with the previous podcast that we've done. And for everyone listening, please go check it out. What he's done now is he's actually provided value up front through a podcast, and then also collected their contact details and given them a course that gets them a desired outcome. And that is so valuable. Before they've even spent any money with him, he's already given so much love. So that basically comes to the stage 3 of business that we spoke about in the previous episode, where you love your clients before they even become a client, and then they will start to love you and rave on about you. This is how you're creating a raving fan client base. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. And it's funny you should say that. I was just speaking to one of my clients this week. Was it last week? Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm having a talk about, loving your market and how important it is to create content marketing and to love your market before they even spend a cent. You love your market and consider that they may not even spend a cent. It's just purely, show your market that you actually genuinely care. And she says to me, you know what, I got the concept. And I love the concept. And I thought, yes, this makes sense. Love your market. Yet I found myself not loving my market. She's like, I'm still I know what to do, and I know I should be doing it. I'm still not really, putting enough education-based marketing out there. Yeah. Until I'm sitting there and I'm consuming some pretty cool stuff on YouTube, and it hits me. What if everyone thought like I did and couldn't be bothered and put it off as a last-minute someday thing? I'd have nothing to help me out. There'd be nothing on YouTube. What would happen to Google search? The way we currently live our lives, guys, the information age that we're in, the fact that you can Google stuff, you can get on YouTube and watch a video that teaches you how to, paint a window or whatever it is that you're wanting to do. All of that is because someone out there cared enough to share their message with everyone without wanting a cent in return. And I loved it because she's like, now I get it. If I don't contribute to this, how can I expect other people to contribute to this? I get it now, she said. I finally got, oh my God, thank you to everyone out there that's done this so I can spend 2 hours on YouTube consuming cool stuff. Just thought I'd share that because it takes it to a slightly different level. Yeah, it's it's more of a selfish thing. I was like, interesting that, I said to her, interesting that it wasn't the message of love your market, don't be an asshole, that got you motivated. It was what if everybody else didn't love me? And they got you motivated. Look, whatever works. If it's the, hey, what if everyone stopped and producing cool content and you had nothing to look up on YouTube, if that rocks your boat and has you go, I better step in and, make sure this thing keeps going, then do it.
Yeah, I think that's so valuable to look at your own personal experience on how you're consuming information and how you're making decisions to purchase and who you decide to follow. And if you're following other people based on how they entertain you and market to you, if you want to have success to have to as you purchase to want others to purchase as well, I think it's a very good insight that she's realized on what she needs to do next in order to get the same results.
Yeah, she did. She was like, oh, it was brilliant. Look, for me, it was a interesting point of view. Like, I wouldn't have thought of it that way, but it makes sense. You know, whatever rocks your boat and gets you marketing. Because ultimately, if you want to make more impact and more revenue, then that's your key. And it's funny, Quinton and I were talking prior to this that, you know, having a marketing buddy really pays off. So why this is guaranteed to be awesome is because we are accountable to each other, meaning that, you know, we've created this podcast together, and so ultimately, if we couldn't be bothered, you know, doing an episode, we can't just say, oh, I'll give it a miss today and I'll do it tomorrow and procrastinate about it. You know, what I love I love the concept of a marketing buddy from the perspective of it's like having a gym buddy. You know, if you're listening, some of you have maybe, you know, unless you're really fully like fitness freaks and you're into gym like Quinton and, you know, you go no matter what, some other people may actually be listening to this and relating to the fact that you may have purchased a gym membership once and you may have gone for 2 weeks and then you stopped going. But if one of your friends was to go with you and you had a buddy to go with you, you would have. You would have met them there. You wouldn't want to let them down. So I encourage you to have a look around your network. It could be friends who have complementary businesses or completely different businesses that also want to up the ante on their marketing. Get yourself a marketing buddy and set up, it could be a day a month that you guys might produce some cool stuff side by side, like a sprint day where you work on your marketing together and you kind of compete to see who can get the most done. And it could be that, you know, you film video blogs and one of you holds the phone up or the camera up for the other, gives feedback. You know, has it been more of a fun day? You could introduce a little bit of wine and make it even more fun. Well, it's funny, but I recently just ran my last mastermind day for my clients. And that's what we did. We actually had all the members team up with somebody in the mastermind who lives local to them, and they've scheduled out for 2016 their marketing buddy days. So they're actually meeting up together and spending a day producing video blogs and helping each other just get as much done as possible. So they can mass produce, you know, 4 to 5 video blogs, and they've got 1.5 months worth of email marketing content done, and they just meet once a month and do that. So highly recommend you consider that.
Yeah, that is such an awesome strategy. And to add to that, for those of you listening, how I get so excited about doing the show with Gabby, that an hour out before the show, I'm already sending her a message that in an hour's time we're going to have an awesome conversation, and I'm so pumped for it. And I think it's those little things that your partner keeps you accountable for, even puts up the energy as well, that it gets you going as well. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely, 110%. Knowing that Quinton's excited to drink wine and talk business with me gets me super excited. Mind you, though, this is our thing. Like, this is our jam, so to speak. Yeah. We love talking about business. You know, it's not a chore. It's something that we just do organically. We catch up, and that's what we want to talk about. And so this is the opportunity for you to talk about what you're most passionate about. You know, your cool thing that you do, that you serve the world with. So, you know, ultimately there are times I know, like for example, my dad is a communications engineer, right? And I'm not going to lie to you, like he finds what he does fascinating. And Mum and I and Dad will be sitting around talking, and Dad will start to try talking about his field. And Mum and I, like, our eyes glaze over. We can't help it. We tune out. We start looking, like, you know, at the clouds, and we just totally tune out. And poor Dad's got no one to talk to. Yeah. You know, he's got to go back to work and talk to somebody about it. I guess what I'm trying to say here is, you know, Dad should probably start a podcast, but it's an outlet. Like education marketing, may it be through, you know, video blogging or podcasting. It gives you an outlet. It gives you a beautiful channel for you to talk about what you're passionate about. share it. Share it enthusiastically. So it's not about seeing this as a chore. It's not like, oh, I've got to do a podcast or I've got to do a video blog or a blog or whatever. It's not seeing it that way. It's actually seeing it as, I get to have a conversation about what I love, and no one around me is rolling their eyes, tuning out and saying, Dad, can we please talk about something else? It's, when you agree, Quinton, it's a beautiful thing.
100%, and thank you so much for sharing. And if Dad's listening, totally start a podcast and just follow the strategy that we've explained here with Work at the How later. I think that the biggest downfall with people that want to start marketing on their own is discipline, that they might not have the discipline of pushing through, or basically not keeping themselves accountable. So as much as they don't want to keep others accountable, I don't think they even want to keep themselves accountable, and that's what's letting them down from actually sharing their wisdom and their message to the world. Because I've experienced that in the past where I do marketing for a living. I teach people how to get more clients through Facebook, and one of the things that I share is storytelling. And through my own personal experience, I've sucked at it, and at times I still suck at it just to keep up the consistency with it, to share it. And that's my own lack of discipline to stick with the consistency to my market. And what I've found is when I do work with someone or when I work with clients, for me to let them down, that hurts me a lot more. So that's basically putting me out there saying, no, I will do whatever it takes to make this happen with Gabby, because it means so much more to her as it does to me, that we are both aligned with our mission to get this out to as many people out there. And I think that's the message there, to be clear on your mission, that why are you doing it, and then to find someone that is on that same mission, that same vision, to be able to carry that with you, so you're not feeling you're doing it alone, and you get to have fun along the way.
Yeah, definitely. That's funny, ultimately, yes, you're probably going to stuff up some parts of it. Who cares? Yes, it's going to improve over time. I dare say that a year from now, Quinton and I will listen to this exact podcast and laugh and realise we've learned so much as to how to make podcasts better. Right now, though, we're doing the best we can. And that's it. Do the very best you can and just keep learning. I still remember my first video blog. Oh, my God. I actually took it down off YouTube, I don't know, a year and a half ago, because when I looked at it again, it was too embarrassing to even use it as an example. I couldn't believe, I thought it was epic when I made it. But this is where, just give it a go, be prepared, and be okay with fumbling around as you master the art of it, because it's worth it. It's either you stay where you're at and have the results that you have, meaning that, obviously, if you've got leads coming in and you're overworked and, quite frankly, you don't need more business, then don't market. However, if you want more business and then you want to build up a team that looks after that business so you can really develop a business that gives you time and money, then marketing's the key. And it is about getting out there and, doing the do. And for some of us, we really need that hard push. Ironically, the money isn't enough for some of us. If it was, every business owner would be marketing like a banshee. So like Quinton said, having something to be accountable for is awesome. Two things. One, it could be a person. So it could be a marketing buddy. It could be a partner that you create content with. You could create your own little TV show or podcast and team up with somebody. Two, it's actually making a promise. So you could actually have a blog or a video blog, however you promise to put out weekly content. So you could actually, set yourself up to win by, having the banner above, what do you call it, the cover page, or what's the thing on top of like a banner type, picture above your blog or your video blog, that says that you produce content every Thursday. Does that make sense? And you can even say it inside the video, that see you next Thursday. And when you do that, you keep yourself accountable to your marketplace and to your clients that are listening, so you don't look like a douche that didn't deliver on your word. They're just two quick little tips for you in doing that. Is there any other tips you could give them, Quinton, on being accountable and holding themselves to a place?
Yeah, totally. There's two more tips that I want to put out there. The first one is don't overcommit on yourself. That when you start something, even like in dating, the honeymoon stage is when everything is amazing, but it's only after a few weeks, few months that you really start to notice if this is your flow. So what Gabby and we've done is we've committed to one show a month so far. That is simply just how it sits in our marketing calendar. If it appears that we are completely rocking this and we are able to squeeze in another one, we might even move to a fortnightly show. But until then, we are not committing to doing a weekly show because we cannot deliver on that promise. And I think so many people they get started with something and it is inconsistent. So I think they really need to be real on what they can commit to. And the fourth tip would then be get yourself a marketing calendar so you can map out your entire next year or the next quarter, so you know exactly what to focus on, so that you're, first of all, not burning out, and we'll discuss burning out in the next section, but you're able to deliver up to the standard and deliver on those promises that if you do decide to do something weekly or fortnightly or daily or whatever it is, that you can deliver on that.
Yeah, I love that. Honestly, that's gold. Love that message, because often what also happens is, I've noticed this with clients. We get excited. We'll learn something. We'll go, oh, I can totally do this. Yes, I'm going to give this a go. I need to do this, and we overcommit. We go. It's like the person who never goes to gym. I don't know why I keep using the gym reference. Now, it's like the person who never goes to the gym and is overweight and unfit, can't inspired, joins a gym and says they're going to go 5 days a week. Now, it's not ecological. So what Quinton's saying, and I love it, is be ecological with your planning. If you know that you can deliver one video blog a month, it's not ideal, but it's better than nothing, then do it. And then as you get used to the whole game of that, and it becomes faster to produce the video blogs and you understand the whole process, then add more. Have it be more of a slow burning machine. So, no different to the person who hasn't exercised for a while, is completely unfit. Going from 0 to 5 days a week is actually not the right thing for them to do. It would be maybe 1 or 2 days a week. And then, building it up so they succeed. Because one of the best things you can do for yourself around this is set yourself up to succeed. So for some of you, commit to something monthly. Something that you can put 1 hour a month in to produce something and do something, do that. And then once you get yourself around that, increase it as you go. Love that, Quinton. That's an awesome tip.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's valuable to everyone that's listening right now.
Yeah, and I'm sure some of you are sitting there going, oh, yep, I've done that, I've overcommitted. Because when we overcommit, well, this is the thing. Some people come to me and say, what can I do about procrastination? To me, procrastination is overwhelm. To me, that's all it means. It just means that you've got too much stuff going on, and your little brain, your little brain person inside of you is going, nah, I quit, and they're out of there. It's just way too much overload. So reduce the stuff. They say that we take in 7, give or take, 2 chunks of new information at any given time. So if you overwhelm yourself with a lot of new projects, you'll find yourself procrastinating naturally, because it's just the body's defense mechanism saying too much. So take it easy, take one strategy and nail it. Once you've got one marketing strategy running beautifully, then take another one. So if you want to focus on Facebook, focus on Facebook and get that happening beautifully where it's profitable. Then go to Instagram. Don't try and do Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all the different stuff all at once when you've been doing nothing prior to it. Would you agree with that, Quinton?
100%. Everyone listening, take that in. Don't go out there just because other people are on those platforms. They've started somewhere to master their core, to master their storytelling, and then they've added another platform. To go from 0 to 100, that's just insane, because what's going to happen is if you don't have the right systems in place, this is where it comes in. If you don't have the right systems in place to sustain that, you're going to burn out. And if you do burn out, then everything else is going to suffer. You're going to drop the ball on most of the projects that you're currently working on. We're going to get into that in one moment. I just want to share one gold piece that a mentor shared with me on how to get started with projects or deadlines and so forth. It is simply just to trick your brain. And if you can do the project for 5 minutes, you'll most likely continue. But it's just to get that initial 5 minutes started. So whenever I go and I need to write a sales copy for a client, or I need to build out a funnel or set up their ads campaign, I simply just say to my brain I say to myself actually, that I'm just going to do this for 5 minutes. Now before I know it, 30, 45 minutes, an hour has passed and I've completed that task, because I just committed to those very first 5 minutes, and then it's just carried me on. So for everyone that's listening, just simply say to yourself that I'm just going to do this for 5 minutes and see what happens, and then take it from there. Because the same happens when you procrastinate and you're sitting there on Facebook, that I'm just going to scroll down this newsfeed for a couple of minutes. Guess what's happening? 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes later, you're still scrolling and you haven't completed that project.
Yeah, good one. I love that. The 5-minute hack. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You've heard it here on Marketing with Vino. It's the 5-minute hack. TM, trademark from Quinton Venter here. I love that. That's beautiful. It's a trick yourself. Go, no, I'm going to do 5 minutes. That's it. 5 minutes and I'm out.
Yeah,
and before you know it, you're hooked and you're there for an hour. That's brilliant.
Yeah,
I've
I've
love
actually,
that.
at the beginning, I've set my stopwatch to say to myself, I only have 5 minutes to do this. Because I've also realized that I like to push things in small time frames, and that often results with me being about 10 minutes late. And that is because that's how I operate, and I really enjoy that, to do that last thing just quickly. So I trick my brain by saying 5 minutes. I've only got 5 minutes to do this, to check this out, and then an hour later, and I've completed it.
I love it. I love it. I'm so steely, Matt. Not steely. I'm going to take that. I'm going to use it and implement it and love it and hug it and tell you how cool it is when I speak to you next.
Yeah, love it.
Absolutely love that.
So let's go back to that topic before I share this hack. The whole concept around burnout, that how people get burned out when they take on too much. Would you like to share some personal stories, Gabs?
I would. I was actually thinking that we could run a whole new podcast on that one.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah?
Totally in for that.
Yeah, so what if we wrap this one up? What if we wrap this one up and we talk about that? Because it's a big topic. And I'm just thinking that are you happy to do that?
Yeah, totally happy.
Talk about that. Guys, next time, tune in. We're going to talk about how phenomenal you'll feel when you get the hack on burnout, meaning never feel burnout again. We've got a few hacks for you. So you've just had the productivity hack, the 5-minute hack from Quinton. We're going to give you the Feel Awesome hack around burnout and how to make sure that you don't feel burnt out in the next episode. Thank you so much for joining us today on this particular episode. Just wanted to sort of, summarize the whole thing. Guys, say yes to marketing and work out how. If you want to create a podcast like this one, this is what we're doing. Just to give it to you in 4 simple steps. It's 1, we get on Skype and we record the audio. Done. There's the piece for you. 2, we put it up on, what's it called that we're putting it up on?
Libsyn. What I'll do is I'll put a notes up for this episode for everyone that's tuning in. We'll release the website details for it, so you can download the footer notes.
Awesome. How's that? How beautiful is that? We're actually going to give you cool little notes as to how you can create your own podcast if you'd like to. And that's it. Follow the cool tips from AJ. Once again, AJ, thank you. If you're listening to this, thank you for your help the other day. AJ's got Online Super Coach as a podcast. Check it out. He interviews 7-figure online coaches and speaks about their success. So if you're listening to this and you're a coach and you want to hear more from online coaches that have succeeded quite well, check out that podcast. I'm sure you'll love it too. And it's been awesome hanging out with you people today.
Thanks everyone for tuning in, and thank you, Gabs.
You've been listening to Marketing with Vino.
Ciao.
If you enjoyed this episode and want to access the resources discussed in this episode, go to marketingwithvino.com and select which episode you've listened to.